Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Gil Ponce, and let's queer up politics. Texas gerrymander targets the South's only LGBTQ Congresswoman. Texas Republicans are moving forward with the redistricting plan that would dismantle the South's only openly LGBTQ member of Congress. Out lesbian Julie Johnson, a Democrat representing the Texas 32nd Congressional District, is condemning the GOP-backed proposal passed by the Texas House of Representatives. Under the plan, her district would be split into 8 different pieces, stretching as far as East Texas and the Oklahoma border. Johnson said in a statement, quote, "This is not democracy. It is a corrupt power grab designed to protect Donald Trump and his failed policies while ensuring Republican control for another decade. These maps were drawn behind closed doors with one goal in mind: to keep power in the hands of a New York felon while denying fair representation to Texans. It is an insult to every voter who believes their voices matter in our democracy." End quote. The maps are expected to take effect in 2026, threatening Johnson's ability to hold her seat. She made history in 2024 as the first out LGBTQ plus person elected to Congress from the South. California Governor Gavin Newsom responded by calling for a special election in November to add 5 Democratic seats in his own state, a move aimed at countering Texas's advantage. Johnson stressed that Democrats will not back down. I will tell you that the Texas gerrymander is frankly absurd. I'll be the first person to tell you that. But we have to talk about the topic at large of gerrymandering in this country. Both parties have done it to a T. Democrats just did it really well for a long time. But what you're looking at right now is a consolidated power grab. And I don't blame Gavin Newsom for doing the move that he's made. He's trying to counter the influence that the Texas legislature and Governor Abbott are trying to do. And I know a number of blue states. I know Maryland's looking at potentially a redistrict and all of that. So ultimately, I think the redistricting battle right now in Texas is really getting at the heart of the soul of the nation, of figuring out and making sure that we're doing what we can to protect democracy.
Do you think there's any connection between the gutting of the Voting Rights Act and this? Did that make this sort of thing easier? I mean, it seems like it would almost have to have been part of this or contributed to this to make this possible.
What I wonder about this, and that's why if it can't be stopped, it'll be interesting. Not interesting, but it'll obviously be a tragedy. But if it does go through, I actually was at a legislative luncheon today for the Hollywood Chamber. Debbie Wasserman Schultz spoke, and then our local state senator spoke, not about gerrymandering, but talking about local issues. So when you make districts that don't look like the same community, like we're a coastal region, so a big conversation today was about coastal issues, condos, sea level rise. If they gerrymander the district so that we were in like Lake Okeechobee, it would make that representative would have a very hard time kind of representing their local community. So I wonder how that will play out. Of course, the gerrymandering districts is not something that's new. I mean, the maps don't look like your zip codes, like all in a row, like you would imagine they should look, or like concentric circles on a map. They are drawn like, very strangely. However, they do tend to represent people in the same area. Like Deborah Wasserman Schultz has, the coast of Broward County, and then she goes west, all the way out to Weston. Very similar areas, yes, coastal, but again, if they had moved her moved that district to include like, Central Florida, it would be a completely different, set of issues that voters are trying to be in touch with. So I wonder how it will play out overall, because I just feel like it's not representing the people that live with the same issues.
And when you say from South Texas, which is you're on the way to Mexico, to the Oklahoma border, that is a vast amount. I mean, that's more mileage than some states have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is preposterous. And of course, we read about it in civics and 100 years ago in school, back when you could know history and stuff in school. And we would read about that, and it was always not a good plan or whatever, but I don't think it's ever been this obvious, like bragging about it. Yeah, we're doing it and you can't stop us. That seems particularly bold
and of note,
and various.
And of note that I want to make here is that Governor DeSantis and members of the legislature have flagged their own consideration of potentially redistricting, and then I can think we do have a couple of vulnerable Democratic districts where we have Jared Moskowitz only won re-election by, I think, 4 points last time. The margins for Lois Frankel have decreased. Margins for Debbie Wasserman-Schultz have decreased. And quite frankly, the way that they've drawn the districts throughout the state is, let's just put it this way, there is very much a path to lose a lot of those seats. So we have to be cognizant, we have to be aware, and that's why we talk about local issues. It's important to pay attention to who your local state rep, who your local state senators are. Get on their phones. Trust me, as somebody who was formerly a municipal official himself, there's nothing easier to do than pick up the phone and call your state rep or to call their office and really let your voice be known to them. And if they don't follow your voice, my advice to you is either support their opponent, or if they don't have somebody that you find passionate about, step up to the plate and run yourself.
This is another reason why the first Trump administration went to a lot of effort to make people not eligible to be counted in the census, because this is another such issue. So all politics is local. So yes, participate in every election. If you don't like anybody, write somebody in. Just be part of the process. But also, when we're not paying attention, they were counting on us not paying attention. And now, after decades of that, here we are. So we've got to involve ourselves.
Definitely get involved, vote, and be informed. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing to and sharing Queer News Tonight.